Could it? Is that? It is! An ancient human ritual place, one of the good ones.
Very good, Talorel. You found a suitable place for the ritual.
And how do you activate that thing?
Good question.
Wow! Hey! Talk about the right place for a ritual.
That's a proper protective circle.
Now we just need to figure out what those symbols mean.
Here it says, as steeped in legend as the existence of the fifth element may be, there can be no doubt that there can be no expression of intention without the reflection of this meta-level.
Goodness me, that's some heavy stuff.
And the symbol on the book's spine is the same as on one of the stones in the stone circle, a hexagram. It says here, the fifth element is more than just the quintessence or the ether of the meta-element that lies between and behind everything. And ultimately, every author avoids its clear definition, of which every practitioner takes a different view.
Oh dear. And it just keeps on like that.
In an operation of intention, the fifth element thus represents the quintessence and thus both the ability to be able to perform this operation adequately as well as the proper authorization.
And what does that mean?
Well, you could see a ritual as an operation of intention.
Really?
She's right. A ritual is about achieving something. You have a plan that you want to implement.
Uh-huh.
And that's why the symbol in a ritual stands for both the authorization, the permission to do something, and the ability, the power to actually conduct it.
And that means?
It means that you need something that gives you the right to act in God's name on earth. And that you need something that you can use to separate the demon from Greta. Some kind of tool.
Happy hunting.
Here it says, every material is classified by a passive and an active primal quality. The passive qualities are hot and cold, the active, wet and dry. The combination of passive and active qualities produces an element. Dry and cold produce earth, dry and warm produce fire, wet and warm produce air, wet and cold produce water. Just as warm ascends and cold descends, the symbol for warm points up, while the symbol for cold points down. Hey, the symbols in the book are the same as those on the stones in the circle. It goes on. Our world is composed of the four elements, earth, water, air, and fire. Each of these four elements is assigned a precise location. At the center of the world lies earth, heavy and immobile, in its natural place. Around it lie the spheres of the four elements.
Uh-huh.
So 4 of the 5 symbols represent the 4 elements: fire, earth, water, and air.
Hello, Bloomford. I talked to Vladich, or rather, he talked to me.
Could you convince him to transport the flying machine to Tavern Lane?
Sort of. He said he would transport the flying machine to Tavern Lane.
Good, good.
Yeah, but first I have to do something else. First, I have to perform an exorcism on Greta.
You have to do what?
Well, somehow, because of me, a strange something came out of a goat, and it's kind of entered into Greta, and Vladich said he'll move the flying machine to the alley. But first, I have to go straighten Greta back out. The long and short of it is, I have to perform an exorcism.
Aha. Then do that, and come back once you've finished this exorcism thing.
I'll be going then. Hello, Father Bartholomew.
Hello, Talorel.
Why does an exorcism have to be a ritual in the first place?
An exorcism is not a simple matter. We must free Greta's secular body of the otherworldly possession and reclaim her soul. Rituals work through symbols. We must see to it that every power, every factor in the ritual is somehow represented by symbols or symbolic objects. Then the symbols' powers join forces, and the ritual's effect unfolds.
And the powers do what they're supposed to do?
In theory.
I found a suitable location for the exorcism.
Oh, very good. Where?
There's an ancient stone circle up near the old mill.
Is it suitable for such an important ritual? Can you draw a circle of protection there, for example?
Yeah, you can. There's even a protective circle there. I already activated it. It still works.
Very good. Very good.
I found out something about these triangle symbols. They stand for the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air.
Excellent, my son. I guess that makes sense. The 4 elements represent the holistic secular creation, so that you can address Greta in her entirety. Her body, her soul, her spirit, and her mind. Do you already know how to use the 4 elements?
Well, I think I have to combine them with the stones. There's a kind of bowl in front of each one. That's how it seems you activate them.
Good, good, my boy. Then gather all 4 elements together and try them out first.
I found out something about the hexagram. In a ritual, it is supposed to represent the authorization and the ability to perform that ritual.
Very interesting. But it makes sense. You must have the right to perform a ritual in God's name, and you need a tool to use when performing the exorcism.
What could be considered justification so that I can act in God's name on earth?
We're battling powers that far exceed any that exist here on Earth. We need God's help, so to say, His permission, to perform a heavenly deed upon Earth in His name. The only one on Earth who has that is the Pope, symbolized by the papal or Peter's keys.
Why does Peter's key symbolize permission to act in God's name?
Well, way back when, Jesus commissioned the Apostle Peter. You are the rock upon which I build my church, and the powers of Hades will not overcome it. Peter was the first pope, if you will.
Peter?
Yes. That's why he carries a key, in order to unlock Heaven's Gate, which basically says he's entitled to look after salvation.
Oh boy.
Now that we have an appropriate place for the ritual, how do we get Greta out there? She's not likely to march out there on her own, is she?
Yes, that might prove difficult. Greta locked herself in her chambers right after she had you and Bloomford arrested. The sounds coming from her chambers indicate she's not quite herself at the moment. What did come out was a mirror, which she threw out of the window. It looks like we're going to need physical help. Sounds to me like a job for McCallum.
That might just prove a tad difficult.
Why?
Well, I sort of broke out of jail together with Bloomford, and kinda gave him a bit of an electric shock in the process.
Oh, dear. Yes, I remember. But, my son, you confessed. And if God forgives you, then hopefully McCallum will too.
But how can I convince him that his esteemed Greta has gone totally mad?
You'll have to think of something, my son. Somehow, you have to prove to him that Greta is, not quite herself at the moment.
What would I need to empower me to perform the exorcism ritual?
That's a good question. You'll need a really powerful artifact that will let you separate the possessed, in this case Greta, from the possessor, whatever that something is.
I'll be going then. A mirror like this is always handy to have around. Nice of the church to offer that here. Aha! St. Peter's Key. Of course! It's the symbol of someone being able to represent God on earth and act on his behalf. The epitome of authorization.
You do realize that the key is a statue, and the statue is made of stone, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
And what makes you think it will be of any use to us?
No, Azael. Talorel is right. The key has no magical powers in itself. It's a symbol that we're allowed to act in God's name. Authorization.
Yes, but it remains a stone key from a statue.
But St. Peter once allowed himself to be spoken to through this statue and worked through it. If we can get him to bless the key and enable us to use it, we would have the perfect symbol of authorization.
Well then, have fun. After your little stunt as a volunteer lightning rod last time.
I'm afraid he's right there.
Hello, St. Peter. Can't we just be friends again?
You can probably forget that.
I can understand why you're not wanting to help me, after the way I always annoyed you in heaven.
I don't think that was what got him so angry.
I know you didn't want to let Jesus down. That was really mean of me. It's really hard to always do the right thing here on Earth. Yeah, it's your right to be angry about that.
Talorel, it's working. He's already calmed down a bit.
I know about the inverted cross. It is written that you did that because you considered yourself unworthy to die in the same manner as Jesus. Pretty classy, to be honest. Yikes, that didn't get him all worked up earlier.
But it seems to be appeasing him.
I know that the whole thing with Jesus was just a slip. I know you were always on his side up until then, full of enthusiasm and always there for him. It must have been terrible for you when you found out that he was right and that you had denied him 3 times before the rooster crowed.
I never would have believed you had so much compassion.
Earth seems to be changing him.
St. Peter, I am sincerely sorry for all the things I said to you, not just here on earth, but in heaven too. It couldn't have been easy as a human with all of this matter and these feelings on this strange planet. Who can always know exactly what is right and wrong?
Talorel, you did it! Peter, Saint Peter himself forgave you.
And he released the key. You now have the ultimate symbol of authority to prove that you're allowed to act in God's name on Earth.
Thank heaven.
More like thank St. Peter.
Whatever.
Great. Do you plan on spending the whole time blowing into it?
Probably not.
Then I guess you'll have to think of something else.
Aha, the stone is permanently activated. That's the way it's supposed to work. Alchemical fire from an alchemical creature. Good idea. Aha! The stone is permanently activated. Very good. Aha! That seems to activate it. I'll take the soil with me for now. Aha! That seems to activate it. I'll take the holy water with me for now.
Light in a dark place. Michael and his angels have risen to fight the dragon. They are slain. The dragon and his angels, damnation. They have lost their place in heaven. They're doomed. He has been slain. The mighty dragon, the old snake. Devil, oh Satan, Satan, oh devil. The dragon has been vanquished and his angels have been cast down. They have been smoked down. Devilry, you have been smoked down. You people, bind him to this place. Bind him and do not let him go.
That is really spooky.
Oh no. Is that... Can it be...
Myriel.
That can't be true, can it?
It must have been him the whole time. It was him who stood in your way in the body of the goat and knocked you out and dragged you into this crypt.
And he's the one who pushed me out of heaven.
And it was him who possessed Greta after he left the goat. But did you see what he looked like?
Like a demon. He looked like a demon.
No wonder. He's committed so many sins. What with possessing the goat and standing in your way and possessing Greta.
That he is now a demon.
Talorel, get out of here now!
they can be reorganized.
Why don't you put them together to make something really strange?
So the new decree now states, in the name of the incarnate, I decree that playing children are to be captured immediately and thrown into the Holy Inquisition cells, that they may receive their just punishment. Every mortal sin must have its reward. Signed, Greta.
How extraordinary. This makes Greta appear even more fanatical than she already is.